Write a C++ function named void push book to insert an element into a dynamically implemented stack. So dynamically implemented stack means stack using linked list, and you need to insert an element. So one more problem based on stack using linked list and insert. Now in order to derive the code, let me take an example. Let me assume that three elements are there in the stack. This is the element at the bottom, element above that one, and this is the topmost element. Now linked list means each and every element is a node, and here instead of node the name of the structure is book. So each and every element is a book. Now book consists of three parts: book number, book name, and the next. So this is divided into three: book number, book name, and the next. Now these elements exist in the computer's memory. So some address will be there, example 1000, 2000, 3000. Now data part, book number, book name. Let me take an example. Example, data part, another example, data part, another example. Now next must contain the address of the next element, but this is the element at the bottom. So after this elements are not there, so this contains null. Now this one should contain the address of the next element, that is 1000, and this should contain the address of the next element, that is 2000. So as per this example, this is the topmost node. Here it is not node, the name of the structure is book. So this is the topmost book, and the address of the topmost book should come in the variable top. So your top contains 3000. Now in order to insert an element, the algorithm is like this. Algorithm means various steps. Step 1, allocate memory for a new node or new book. So first I need to allocate memory like this. How can you allocate memory for a new book? The operator new followed by name of the data type book. So new book does two things. One, memory is allocated for a new book, and after that the base address example 4000 is returned as answer. And this 4000 may be stored in a temporary variable TMP. So your TMP contains 4000. How can you declare variable TMP? TMP contains 4000. It is the address of a memory location. So before the variable name you can write star, meaning temp contains address. The memory location 4000 contains a book. So we can say temp is a pointer pointing to a book. So in order to allocate memory for a new node or new book, the statement can be written like this. What is the next step? Insert the data, that is book number and book name. They are the data part. So temp arrow mark operator book number, this must be entered from the keyboard, and temp arrow mark operator book name, this must be entered from the keyboard. The first one, scene input operator temp arrow mark operator book number. So temp arrow mark operator book number, this quantity can be entered from the keyboard. An example taken, suppose if you type 40 from the keyboard, this contains 40. The new book number is 40. Next, temp arrow mark operator book name, this one must be entered from the keyboard. So scene input operator temp arrow mark operator book name. So suppose if you type the book name as Python, this memory location contains Python. Example. So inserting the data, that is book number and book name, data part entered from the keyboard. What next? Link with the next element, that is this one should contain the address of the next element, which is nothing but top. So temp arrow mark operator next should contain top. You can see this contains top, which is nothing but 3000. What is the next step? Link with the previous element. This is there only for queue, because in the case of stack, the next element and the previous element are the same. So no need to execute this step for stack. What is the last step? prioritize the new element, meaning the newly inserted element is the new topmost element. So this temp should come in top. So temp is assigned to top. So you can see this temp which is 4000 that comes in top. So top becomes 4000. Now this piece of code should be inside a function. How do you put the code inside a function? Straight away write the name of the function. In the question paper the name mentioned is pushBook, followed by function symbol, followed by opening curly bracket and closing curly bracket. Now you find the return type. Function does not return any answer, hence void. Now top should be passed. So here you can pass top. How will you declare variable top? Top contains the address of the topmost book. It contains address. So before the variable name you can write star, address of the topmost book. So you can write book star. Now this parameter is changed here because a temporary variable is assigned to top, thereby top changes. You can see top became 4000. Now this change should be reflected in the main function, which means this quantity should be passed by reference. How can you pass a parameter by reference? Before the variable name write ampersand sign. So this is passed by reference, meaning the change made here, example top becomes 4000, that is reflected in the main function. So this is how you insert a new element into dynamically implemented stack.